I've just been, I have two closings this week. So I've just been preparing documents like the CDA and stuff for closing and looking at my other buyers too to see the updates on their construction with the construction manager, appraisal, inspection, and all the other things. So, and I'm also thinking of Red X. Remember, I was telling you that I need sellers. Like I don't sell, I'm only working with buyers. I have about 17 buyers under contract. But
Wow.
I need sellers too, so I can kind of 10x, So
Right.
thinking of Red X, need to block time out to at least 2 hours for calls. So yeah, that's what I've been working. Yes,
Well,
sir.
I'm actually today we're actually going to be talking about the listing side of things. And Trey, what's up? Yeah, my bad, y'all. It looks like that the email didn't go out for the email reminder didn't go out for this meeting. So there may not be a lot of us on here today. What's up, Trey? How you doing?
Hey, Jason. I was wondering what's going on. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah. It's like set to be auto emailed every Sunday, but I literally don't know what happened. And so it'll probably just be us. We'll see if anybody else joins. I may send out to do another one later this week, but nonetheless, I prepared to talk about listings today. And so that's what I'm still going to do.
Oh, yeah. I'm so down to hear that. I want to know about that one.
Yeah. How's your week been?
My week's been okay. I remember like 2 weeks ago, I told you that I said the word trying to do at least 1 or 2 rentals while I'm also doing selling and buying. So I've changed my stance. I'm going to do 1 to 3 rentals every month while at least getting in contract two properties every month. So hopefully, not even hopefully, I will do it.
And so what's your big goal for the year?
My big goal for the year is probably I will get at least 80 to 100K this year. That's definitely gonna happen. If I follow the track, the process works. It's already been working since I've followed the process. I have looked into your rental laws. A few things I'm still kind of confused about, but I think that just takes more knowledge and more like studying to actually understand what's going on.
Yeah, it'll all come together and make sense by the end of the course. And then once you kind of get out there and hearing the lingo and communication, the course is more so heavy on, generating those quality leads and getting them and, getting them somewhere and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it'll all come together.
Yeah. I know it works because I already have two renters looking. They had hit me up after I was following the course. They had hit me up, and I was like, great. But I definitely want to get into like the listing side of like selling the apartment, well, renting the apartments that have buyers. That's the part I'm confused with.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Cool. Okay, perfect. Well, if y'all want, we can go ahead and hop into it. And if this turns out to be a shorter call than normal, then that's fine. It was totally our mistake as far as getting that email out. But yeah, let's talk about listings. And listings for me, I actually started with listings in the business, whereas most agents start by working with buyers. Kind of just some of the first training that I received was you want to get listings, you want to get listings, you want to get listings. And so that's what was always in my head, getting listings. How do I get listings? This and that and the other. Now, I will be bold and say that listings are much easier to come by when you've been in the game for a while. Okay, just because you have past clients you've worked with, so they end up wanting to sell. You have neighborhoods that you've sold in and you get referrals from neighbors, this and that. And so they're much easier to come by once you've been in the game for some time. But that wasn't the case for me. I was a brand new agent and I didn't have any listings. I didn't know what to do. I can probably say, well, I can confidently say the first probably 10 sales that I had were all from cold calling. All from cold calling. The first 10 listings that I had were all from calling random people. Now I know that there's restrictions in some places as far as cold calling and that, but I'm just sharing. I didn't have previous contacts. I didn't have previous clients, nothing like that. So my first 10 came from cold calling. Then I started to see that more and more were coming from open houses. And how that pretty much played out was I would always try to get to do an open house like when a listing was fresh on the market. So whenever I knew or heard about, or I would post and reach out to agents who had new listings coming, I was always wanting to be the first agent to do a open house at that listing. Why? At that first open house, you always have the most neighbors. Because the neighbors have kind of seen that sign go up in the yard. They've been watching it. They've probably looked at it online. And so they want to come in on that first open house. So I always wanted to do that first one, so that way I can meet those neighbors in the area. And some agents, see, they don't know how to play the game, because it's like, oh yeah, I did the open house this weekend. It was mostly just neighbors. I love to meet mostly just neighbors, because those are the people who give me that opportunity for listings. Couple of things neighbors are looking at, and people call them nosy neighbors, but they're nosy for a reason. They want to see what's been done to this property. They want to see how this house looks. They want to see what y'all are trying to sell it for, you know, because of course that affects the value of their home. And there's probably an opportunity there for you to list them. Whenever I am talking to a neighbor, and I've seen agents mess this up so bad, whenever I am talking to a neighbor, my goal is not to sell that house that I'm holding open to that neighbor. My goal is to get as much information about their house that I can. So a few questions that I ask, I always ask people, so what do you think of this house? Okay, blah, blah, blah. All right, how does this house compare to yours? Because I want to know the differences about their house. Oh, well, my house is a little bit more updated. My house is bigger. I don't have a home office, or I have a pool, like whatever. You want to start to gather those details about their existing house. Then I start asking, how long have y'all been in there? How long have y'all been in this neighborhood? Do you think you're going to stay in this neighborhood? Do you know how much your house is worth? You know, one method of selling that I always teach is just ask more questions. Ask more questions. My eventual goal with that conversation is to get into their house to provide them with a current market value of their house. That's all I want to do. I want them to know how much their house is worth. When we're in that open house, I'm not trying to convert them to a listing. I'm not trying to say, oh, you should sell now, we're in a hot market. I just want them to know how much their home is worth. And that's why I want to come by. That's what I want to talk to you about. I want to see the condition of it. I want to see those upgrades. You said that you redid the kitchen. I want to see that so that I can give you a value on your house. And that's my goal. When I get in front of them at their house, in their territory, it's all just about building a relationship at that point, you know. But my goal at that open house is to get them to invite me to their home. Okay, so I love nosy neighbors. They are a great, great, great opportunity. And so if you're in an area where you can host open houses, big tip, try to be one of the first people or try to hold it open before anybody else has held it open. The way to do that is simply by asking other agents. When you see a new listing come on the market, reach out to that other agent, ask, can you hold an open house for their property? Okay, set alerts for whatever market areas you want to work in, so that way you know when a new listing is coming on the market, or if they have in your area coming soon, which is something that they just introduced into our MLS last year, because before we didn't have coming soon listings that we can see, but now agents here can put a listing in and tag it as coming soon, so we know that that listing is about to come on the market. Reach out to that agent at that time, ask them, can you host an open house at their property? Okay. Does that make sense so far?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Okay. So the other side of things, cold calling, right? Cold calling. The thing with selling over the phone is understanding the other person's pain points. The more you can understand their pain points, then you can tie those pain points, figure out what their motivation is, and ultimately sell to them. Okay. When you're calling, they know that you're calling to get a listing. They know it. They all know it already, because for one, you're probably the 20th realtor to call them, right? They've all used the same script. They've all said the same things. So they've heard it all before. So your goal is to understand what their pain points are, understand what their motivation is, and use that to sell to them your appointment, your services, your relationship. Okay. Most people start these calls all wrong. You know, oh yeah, I'm an agent. Oh, let me ask you, where are you going to go when you move? You know, oh, what brings you there? This and that. All those questions are fine, but there's no need to waste time. You want to be direct, get to the point, build rapport, and ultimately get your foot in that door. How are you going to do that? Hey, I'm curious. Why didn't you hire an agent to sell your home? Just find that out. That's the big elephant in the room. That's the big elephant in the room. They're either going to tell you, I want to save the money. They may tell you, I hate agents. They may make up some random excuse. I don't know. I didn't know any agents, but find that out. Find out what that issue is, because now for that call, they need to know that working with you is the complete opposite of that. Working with you is the complete opposite of whatever pain point they had, why they didn't hire an agent. So let's use an example. Oh, I didn't hire an agent because it was going to be too expensive, or I want to save the money. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's understandable. I can definitely see why you would say this. How much was it going to cost you? I don't really know. Most people, they don't know. They just throw it out there. I want to save money, or agents are expensive. How much was it going to cost you? Great question to ask. Okay. What sales price was that attached to? You know, you're just leading them down the road to try to overcome this objection, find out all of their pain points. And I like to do this up front, because whatever objections they're going to throw at me at the end, I'm already going to know how to overcome it, because I have all of their cards in my hand, because I've asked those questions ahead of time. What else does asking questions do? Asking questions builds rapport. All right. The longer you can keep them on the phone, the better chance that you have at building that rapport with them. And so ask questions, get them to open up, all of that good stuff. Those were my top two sources: cold calling and open houses were my top two sources in getting listings early on in my career. Now, you being a listing agent, you have to be prepared in a different way than you do as a buyer's agent. And this is very important. Any appointment you're going on to meet with someone, to meet with a home seller, you need to know that market over there. This is 100% important. And here's why I say that you need to know that market. You're trying to get business from someone who is very familiar with their area. They're very familiar with their area. And notice I'm saying area versus market. That's what's going to distinguish you as the real estate agent. They don't need you to tell them where the nearest school is. They don't need you to tell them where the CVS is or the nearest drugstore or grocery store. They don't need you to tell them that this is a very nice neighborhood. They know their area very well, better than you probably. So how can you differentiate yourself from what they already know? And the answer is that is knowing the market way better than them. Okay, knowing the market way better than them. People will be more drawn to you if you're giving them information that they don't already know. Okay, and there's a way that you can spin this to where it can be more psychological than just purely like, duh, I could have found that out. I'll give you an example. When I'm speaking with sellers about their home and about pricing and everything, I talk in square footage, price per square foot. Okay, I talk in price per square foot. For one, it makes you sound way more intelligent, right? It's like, oh yeah, your home is worth 250,000. The other one down there sold for 218. The other one over there sold for 247. No, I'm talking in price per square foot. So I would say based on the comps in this area and the recent sales, price per square foot of your home is going to be around $35 a foot. And the reason I'm saying this is because the home down the street, that one ended up going for $31. Yours has this, and that, and the other, but the one around the corner went for such and such, right? Price per square foot though. I'm talking price per square foot. It's like, oh, snap. I don't know price per square foot. I never thought about price per square foot. What affects price per square foot? Who uses price per square foot? An appraiser, the industry, everybody, you know? So that's one thing, price per square foot. Okay, another thing, you need to know what's going on in that specific neighborhood when it comes to real estate. Okay, what's going on in that specific neighborhood when it comes to real estate? It never fails. They're always probably going to ask you about a property that you don't have in your records, that you didn't find. Something maybe that was coming soon, something maybe that was for sale by owner, someone who may have put a sign in the yard prematurely and it's not listed yet. You need to know this information. Whenever I'm going out on a listing appointment, I show up to the neighborhood early. I drive around to make sure and notice any signs, and by signs, I mean yard signs, that aren't on any of my comps lists. What am I doing? I'm calling that agent's phone number on the sign. Hey, I'm driving around in such and such. I see you have a sign in a yard. When is that coming on the market? I have buyers looking in this area. Right? Don't say, oh, I'm going on a listing appointment in 20 minutes down the street. No, I have buyers looking in this area. Oh, well, we're planning on coming on the market in 2 weeks. Oh, nice. Okay, what's it going to be listed at again? Say it just like that. I promise you. Say it just like that. What's it going to be listed at again? Get them to tell you the price. Right? So now you could sit there run your little comps on that property, you know what it's coming on the market for. Now you're really impressing the seller. Yeah, that one's coming on in 2 weeks. It's going to be listed at such and such. So we can get ahead of this one, come in at this price per square foot, set you apart from the market, be able to get it sold possibly before that one even comes on the market, because we don't want that one to come on to be your competition. Right? So now that seller who may have said, oh, I'm in no rush, is now thinking, I don't want to compete with this other one. I don't want that other one to devalue mine because I'm trying to get the most money, right? That can overcome another objection right there, just by you knowing that information. For sale by owners too. If you see any for sale by owners, do the same thing. Hey, yeah, I'm a real estate agent. I'm just driving around. Hey, I'm not trying to get your property as a listing. I'm actually on my way taking another listing right around the corner. I think it's going to sell in a couple of days, but how much is yours going for? You know, I'm sure I'll get a bunch of leads from mine, and this one is going to go very quickly just because of all of the pre-marketing that we've already done for it. And so, you know, I want to be able to point the people who don't move fast enough to another one. Now you got this for sale by owner sitting there like, wait, pre-marketing. Wait, what? I've been on the market for a month now. I'm only getting calls from real estate agents. But you're getting that information that you need to stick out in your appointment, but you're also planting seeds in their head. And that's how you want to play that. But make sure when you go in that listing appointment that you know what's up with that market over there. Speaking in price per square foot, knowing all of the inventory, knowing what sold, right? You all know how to run comps. If not, I want you to take a comps class. But you know that comps are based off of sold properties, and that's how you get the price per square foot and the market value for that property. But you in that appointment, you also need to talk about the current competition. You also want to talk about what's on the market. If somebody asks you, have you seen that property? Of course I've seen it. I keep up with everything. You ain't lying, right? You looked on the internet and you saw it. Bam. Right? You want to know what's going on in the market. Now, before you're in that appointment, you want to kind of pre-qualify this client, right? When I'm in the appointment, I'm not sitting there talking about how many bedrooms and bathrooms you have and all that kind of stuff, because for one, I should already know that from pulling all the information. But on that first phone call that I got from them, remember, what am I doing? I'm getting their motivation and I'm getting what their pain points are. So when I'm in that appointment, right, the fact that they even invited you in, you're halfway closed right there. You're halfway closed right there. The people who aren't halfway closed are the ones who lied just to get into the door. Oh yeah, I have buyers. I just need to preview it first. You got them thinking that you're coming in to preview it for your buyers. And when you flip that bait and switch, it makes your job 10 times harder. Versus they know what's up. You know, we discussed on that phone call, I want to just show you this information. You could take it or leave it, but at least you know. You'd be a wise person to at least know your options, right? Well, yeah. Okay. Well, this is knowing your options. Simple. So they know what's up. So your opportunity at that appointment, right? Because they're going to be throwing objections at you. They're going to be throwing objections at you. How you have to separate yourself is making them feel like you do a lot of stuff that they cannot do. You do a lot of stuff that they cannot do. Now, there are those givens. Yeah, I'm going to put a sign in the yard. Well, I can put a sign in the yard too. Oh, I'm going to put it on the internet. Well, I can put it on the internet too. I'm going to take professional photos. Well, I can take professional photos too. Okay. So you got to set yourself apart from them. You have to do things that they didn't think about, or they don't know how to do, or they don't have the capacity to do. How do you know which things are going to have that effect on them? Well, let me give you one example. Hey, let me ask you, Mr. Seller, do you work from home? Or no, I go into the office. I work Monday through Friday, so I'm normally there 9 to 5. Oh, okay. And then what do you do on the weekends? So on the weekends, I'm mostly here with my family, and I like to have the weekends off and relax and all of that kind of stuff. So me as an agent, when I hear that, I'm going to say, okay, they're going to be away from home all day, Monday through Friday. So they can't show during the day. They're going to be working all day and coming home in the evening. And so the opportunity for them to show would be between probably 6 and 9 every day. And then on the weekends, they want to enjoy the weekends and not have to worry about people coming in and out of the house, having to leave the house. I have a full-time 40-hour a week, Monday through Friday, and then however many 20 or 10 hours on the weekend to devote to this. So my mind automatically goes, I need to show them that they don't have enough time to sell a home. Okay. So I start going down that road. I'm not sitting there trying to convince them that they need to hire me, because I'll get professional photos done and I'll put it on the internet and get it on social media. I'm going to work to convince them to hire me because they don't have enough time to sell a home. Right? It's changing that perspective on it. What about if they say they work from home? Oh yeah, I work from home, so I'll be here, I'll be able to show the property to people. Oh yeah, what do you do? Oh, well, IT, whatever, right? Oh, tell me about that. How'd you get into that? I'm just building rapport, going down the line, because I'm trying to figure out what this work from home schedule is like. How distracted is trying to sell a home gonna be for them? So what can I do at that point? I can spin it. Well, Mr. Seller, as you can imagine, selling the home, it's going to require, people to actually see the home. People are going to want to tour the home. What plan did you have for that? Well, since I'm home, I can show whoever wants to see it and this and that. How am I going to spin it? What if I can give you a way to show this home without them even stepping into the door? Now you start plugging in your marketing. One thing that we do is we have a Matterport. Well, I wouldn't even say Matterport because you don't need to give them the name. But technology these days, something that we do for our clients, we do something called a virtual walkthrough. Now, I'm pretty sure that you've seen a virtual walkthrough before, and they're not all that impressive. But the one that we do is we use a 3D camera, and what it does is it takes the whole room. We can show someone the home virtually as if they are walking in before they actually see it in person. What that does is when they see it in person, they're just looking at those quick details that they may have missed or that they want to see up close and personal. Oh yeah, and Mr. Seller, I don't know if you know this, but showings typically take about an hour, right? What we're able to do is we're able to cut those showings down to 10 minutes just because of they're getting a full look at the home before they even walk into the door. Right? Now it's like, oh snap, never thought about that. Didn't know that was a thing. I don't have that. Right? Even if I did, how am I going to get it to people? Oh, Mr. Seller, do you get a lot of calls about your home? Oh yeah, my phone's been blowing up. I got so many people interested. Oh, has anyone made an offer yet? No, there's a lot of people thinking about it. Or no, we're just waiting. No. There. Now, what do you think about as an agent And I'm asking y'all, I want somebody to unmute. What do you think about as an agent if the seller tells you they've gotten lots of calls, but no offer?
I'll ask them, why do they think that is?
Exactly.
Yeah, I would say the price is too high.
What'd you say, Trey?
I said I would think the price is too high. So I just have the price.
You know what? That's a good one, but I wouldn't even go in for that close, right? Because think about it. Let's take, for instance, the for sale by owner. What's their biggest objection? Oh, I want to save commission. So money is kind of one of the last conversations that we want to have, because we got to show value first. We got to show them that this money that they're paying is worth it. Then we can talk about that actual dollar amount. But if you're telling me that you've had lots of calls, but no offers, or lots of people have seen this house, but no offers, then there may be a lack of sales skills there. Right? Think about that. Anybody can change a price. Anybody can accept a showing. Anybody can take a phone call, but can you close them? Can you convert? What will I do at that point? I'll show them screenshots, or I'll give them statistics. You know, what's interesting with that, Mr. Seller, is we get tons of calls a day about our properties, right? And my broker is so strict on us converting. We have a conversion rate of X, Y, and Z because we use special sales tactics. Most times it's something little. It's just a little objection that we have to overcome to get a buyer interested in that house. And so every single day for 2 hours, we hit the phones closing people on properties that they might have just disregarded for a minor, small reason. It's like closing 2 hours a day. I don't have 2 hours a day. I don't know how to close somebody. I don't have those sales skills. What are you saying to them? There you go. Again, more valuable as an agent. Okay. So in that appointment, that's your mission, especially dealing with for sale by owners. That's your mission. Okay. You have to show them that you are worth it. Not any other agents, not a real estate agent as a whole, but you are worth it. You're worth your dollar amount. You're worth the time. You're worth the effort. You're worth the opportunity. And that's where most people miss the mark, because they rely on damn listing presentations, the paper, to do all the selling when it doesn't. I don't need, like, I send that listing presentation ahead of time. That's not what we're here to talk about. I want you to see that ahead of time so you can see all this marketing stuff. You can see testimonials, all that kind of stuff. I don't need to sit there and flip through page by page and show you that. I need to get to know you. I need to build that rapport with you, and I need to overcome what these objections are. I don't need to tell you word for word what's in this listing presentation. Okay, let's talk about price. Let's talk about price, because that's a big thing that we need to know how to have pricing conversations. How do I do that? One simple solution. We do the pricing together. We do the pricing together. Okay, even though I've done it ahead of time, I know what numbers in my head. It's a big deal when you're actually with that seller and they're seeing how you got to that price that you got to. They're able to see why their price is too high. They're able to see maybe why their price is too low. They're able to see why nobody's given them a contract yet. And then at that point, once you have that understanding, then you can have those other conversations about commission, fees, this and that, still why they don't want to move forward, right? If it even gets there again, because they may see the value at that point. Just one of those things that always helps out when we have to have that pricing conversation, because you can always refer back to, well, do you remember how we got to that price? Yeah, I remember. It's kind of like someone gives you a math equation, right? And they just give you the answer, but you don't know how they got to that answer. So you still have questions. Versus when you're actually doing the problem with someone, you're working that equation with them, they can see how you got to that. Okay. They can see that their price, their overprice may not make sense. And it's like, oh, well, I want to be at this price because the market's going up. All right, well, let's price it according to the market then. At that point, we start to talk about seasonality and pricing ahead of the market, which brings me to my third thing that you need to know in these appointments. Know what's going on the buyer side. Know what's going on the buyer side. This consists of two different sides. There's the trends of the market, AKA seasonality. We know that summer's the busiest time, winter's slow, spring ramps up, fall drops down, you know, slight increase in December. You need to be able to talk about seasonality, right? Everybody's going to tell you right now that the market's going up and they want to price it high because the market's going up. Okay. But that doesn't give people the right to be stupid or to feel like they can do it all themselves. So therefore, we need to have that intelligent conversation about the market. Yeah, you know what, Ms. Stellar, you're absolutely right. The market's going up and we're in February right now. We're about to enter in those prime months, peak buying season. But let me tell you what's happening with the interest rates on the other side. Oh, snap. Because now we're talking directly to buyers and we're trying to attract buyers, correct? Yeah. Well, this is what's happening with interest rates. When interest rates do this, this is what happens with home prices, right? So wanting to price it ahead of the market, right? We already discussed that a lot of people move during the summer. So it's not just a lot of buyers start moving, a lot of sellers start selling. So you're going to have more competition with sellers, and the way that these interest rates are going, it's actually going to shrink our buyer pool. Because a buyer that could afford this house last year, based on what the rate was last year, may not be able to afford it this year. So therefore, it lowers our buyer pool. And at that point, when we have less buyers than sellers, what does that put us in? That puts us in a buyer's market to where homes that are overpriced are overlooked, right? That's the simple answer. Okay. So we're getting them to see, okay, yeah, you want to talk about the market's hot, the market's going up. But look at this. This is what's really happening. Okay. So knowing how the market is on a big level, the interest rates, the financing side is going to allow you to have that type of conversation. So be sure every morning or every evening, you look at that stuff, read that stuff. I'm telling you, there's lines that I've read in MSNBC in the morning or, our local Dallas Morning News about real estate. I didn't really know what they were talking about. But when I spit that line at an appointment, it's kind of like, oh, snap. Now your boy is like an analyst, you know? And the big thing to know about this is these are things that they didn't think about. And it's going to get to a certain point in this conversation where it's like, damn, what else am I missing? What else didn't I think about? There's so much in this that I didn't even think about. You're right. I probably need a professional. I probably need a professional. Okay. setting yourself apart, showing your value. Agents that discount, for the most part, they haven't been able to portray their value because people will pay for things that they find valuable. You know, why are you paying thousands of dollars for Louis Vuitton when you can go to Target and get it cheaper? Because there's a perceived value there. And that's the same thing that you want. You want that perceived value when you are meeting with people, when you are trying to close on these appointments, when you're going out there. One thing about real estate these days is, and y'all have seen the articles and conversations, is that people think that they can do it themselves. People think that Zillow gives them all the information that they need. Okay. I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, you don't want to watch Zillow. You don't want to look at Zillow. Like, I'm not going to bash Zillow in my appointment, but I'm going to show them what they're missing on the other side of things. Okay. I'm not going to bash social media in my appointment, but I'm going to show them that there's more to it than social media. All right. I'm not trying to make them feel like they don't know what they're doing. I'm trying to make them feel like they need me. Okay. Because you're going to encounter that person that feels like they're so smart, or they're an attorney, or they're an accountant, or this and that. Okay, cool. You got it. You got it. But here's what I got. And that's what I'm trying to show. Okay. That's what I'm trying to get people to know when I'm in these appointments. And what do they think? They end up thinking you're very sharp. They think that you're very knowledgeable. They think that you're this, that, and the other. And I'm not having to be the most experienced. I'm not having to be the one with the longest track record. I'm not having to be the one with the biggest, at the biggest brokerage. Okay. But when I'm talking to you, you're going to know that I know what I'm talking about. This is what makes sellers not even ask me how many homes have I sold or how long I've been in the business. With my conversation with them, they can tell and know that I know what I'm talking about. Anybody can read off of a listing presentation and say that we do these 10 things to sell your home. But not anybody can talk about what the market's doing. Not anybody can predict the market for the future based on trends. Not anybody is going to know off-market stuff happening. Not anybody's going to know how to overcome these objections. It's all communication. It's all communication. That's what sets agents apart, right? From those ones that actually get listings and the ones that don't. Communication. When you know how to properly communicate with people, you can literally have anything. Anything. You got to know how to play this, though. You got to know how to play the field on this, because ultimately that's what's going to set you apart, and that's what's going to make you a better closer. Knowing how to take control and play the field on this. Is that making sense?
It makes perfect sense.
Good.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes a lot of sense. I wrote a lot of things down.
Good.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that one. That was real deep.
Yep. It's all selling. It's all selling. Here's a couple more tips just to start to wrap things up. When you get that yes, proceed to signing. Okay. Proceed to signing. I've seen people lose listings because they don't get stuff signed when the client says yes. I always say, shut up at that point, put the paper in front of them, give them the pen, get them signing. All right. When they say yes, get them signing. That's what happened to my co-op. Oh man, Trey, I hate to hear that.
Yeah, I didn't get him to sign, so that's what happened.
Get them to sign. Always, 100%. 100%. Next tip. When you get them to sign, start immediately. You want motion happening immediately. Okay? Get that sign out your car, because hopefully you have it with you. Put it in the yard. Let them know when their photos are being scheduled. Okay? It's almost like an onboarding process. Let them know, okay, the photographer is going to be by on Friday at 2. Even if you haven't scheduled it yet, let them know this is what time it's going to happen. Right? It's like, dang, they're on top of it. You want so much happening in that first little while that it's just like, dang, I'm not going to stop this. I'm not going to stop the flow, because what happens? Sometimes people get what's known as buyer's remorse. There's listing remorse too. Oh, I thought about it last night. I think I still want to try it myself. No, it's not going to be none of that, because what? We got photos coming. We got the sign in your yard. We got this and that. I have my assistant calling you, starting your file, right? We've put you into the system. When you left that listing appointment and you're 10 minutes away, you're giving them a call right back just to say thank you for the opportunity. I won't let you down. Make them feel good about this decision. Okay? Make them feel good about this decision. When you're out there at that property, take a picture in front of the home, not of yourself, but before you leave, snap a photo. Immediately post it on social media. New listing. Who has buyers? This is where it's at. All right? Because even though you're probably not going to be live on the market in such and such time, you have that listing agreement signed. Well, adhere to your states, because Texas just recently changed this, but start pre-marketing, start sending it out to people. You got that listing. All right. When you put it on the market, you want that flood of stuff to come in. When you're at that appointment with them, schedule that first open house. We're going to do an open house this weekend, Saturday, 12 to 2. Our team will be here at 11, get everything set up. We'll give you a report right after. You know, this is not, even if it is, this is not your first rodeo. You know what happens, bam, 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 in this. And so you want to give that impression too. Hey, I didn't make the wrong decision. You want to give that impression to the seller that they didn't make that wrong decision by showing them we have a process. We stick to our process. We're not going to get all out of bounds and out of whack and throw everything off. No, we have a system. And that system is like an on switch. We can turn it on immediately. I'm more prepared coming in here than you've ever been, Mr. Seller. I mean, you're not going to say that, but that's how you want them to feel like, hey, you came to get it done. You're sharp. All right. You are the professional. Always know this. You are the agent. Have that mentality that they need you. They need you. And you want them to feel like they need you. You want them to feel that way. You are in control of this. Anything that happens out of bounds is because you let go of some of your control. Someone tells you no, means there's an objection that you need to overcome. Okay? If someone told me no, I'm going to find out why. I'm going to find out why. Maybe there's just a little misunderstanding there. Maybe I wasn't clear. Maybe I haven't built that trust yet, but why? What's the reason? So I know for next time, quote unquote. Oh, that's the reason. Let me overcome that. Oh, I got to think about it. Oh, okay. was anything that I said unclear? No, I think it was pretty clear. Okay, what is it specifically that you feel like you need to think about? Get them to tell you. Okay. Well, here goes another objection. Well, everything sounded good, and I think I'll be ready to go in 2 weeks. And so I'll call you then. No problem. What we'll do is we'll go ahead and start doing the pre-marketing. So that way, when you're ready and we come on the market, it'll be like, bam, go ahead, sign here. I'm going to indicate here on this listing agreement that we won't put it out there for 2 weeks. Oh, well, I don't know yet. Okay. So you see how I just overcame that objection. Oh, so what is it now? We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. This is you being a salesperson. This is you being a salesperson and remaining in control. Because I can guarantee you when you walk out that door, you're not going to be the only agent that they meet with. You're not going to be the only agent that they let in their house. And there's gonna be an agent that comes in and closes them, that overcomes all the objections, that makes them feel good, that gets the job done. You have that opportunity to be that person, but don't back down. Don't back down. Overcome those objections. Get something signed. Even if it's just this is embarrassing to say, but I've done a week-long listing agreement. I've done a week-long listing agreement. I'll tell you how that played out. Basically, my job was to get it sold within 1 week. And this wasn't in a hot market. This wasn't in a hot market. And I didn't get it sold in 1 week. But guess what I did do? I did so much, impact so much value into that. I got them comfortable with how I was working. We got photos, we got brochures, we got this and that, to where when that week came, when that expiration date came, they didn't want to cancel. Let's go ahead and give it another month. You've done a great job. You've communicated well with me. I like how you're doing things. And then we get that extension, but just something so that I wasn't walking out that door with nothing signed. Okay, so those are all possibilities. We will continue this conversation next Monday, where we're going to be going into the actual process of, once you get that listing, how to provide that great customer service, what to do that'll set you apart from everyone else in order to get you more referrals. So we'll talk about marketing. We'll talk about steps in the process. We will get into all of that. But right now, today's goal was to get you to have the right psychology around listing presentations and around working with sellers. What questions do y'all have?
Got it. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, man, because that's the next phase for me. So I had a client who's we used to work together in the hospital. They wanted to sell their home. I thought it was like a 300, 400K home. I got there. Was like a $1.2 million home. It's crazy. I was like, damn.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I put myself together, I did a great presentation. They're gonna go with me, but I wasn't able to tell you, like, a home for like 1.2 million. What are some key advices in terms of like marketing pieces, apart from just putting a sign out, listing on the internet, and maybe create a website for it? What other strategy can you share with me just to kind of impress those people?
So you need to get an in-home publication done. And I would recommend like a magazine type of deal, where it's multiple pages, saddle stitched, and you have those big professional photos in there. You want something tangible that people can leave that home with. You definitely need to get a professional video done. Okay. Brokers open for people love to be able to come in luxury listing take photos, put it on their social media, all that kind of stuff. So definitely host a brokers open. You don't have to do a regular open house, but you definitely want to do a brokers open. And then you're in Houston, which I think that y'all have this blog down there. It's called Candy's Dirt.
Okay, I'm not sure.
Candy's Dirt, maybe not, but find a real estate blog that's out in you that's out in your area. Most times they will let you pay to have them feature an article. Do that. What else? Let me look. Because tell me a little bit more about this property. I mean, is it like a unique $1 million property, or is it just like a normal $1 million?
So the properties in the area are from like 900 to like 1.4 million.
And then
it's in Katy, Texas.
Okay, how quickly do they sell around there?
This on the market average about a month.
Okay,
I've seen homes go for lesser. I've seen average a month.
So it may not even be necessary to do any more than those things in order to get it sold. The biggest places where you can really shine are going to be your concierge level of service. So working with people at that price point, you don't really want to make them do too much. So that concierge level of service, and then communication is going to be big. Communication, just everything. Yeah, I mean, a month, get the book made, professional photography, get a video done, brokers open, and then in-home publication. That should set you pretty good for a month, and it should show that you've put some time and money into it. Okay. Don't take camera phone pictures, please, and really get a nice, tasteful video done.
Got it. Like a 3D walkthrough and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can do that as well. Matterport.
Got it. I already Googled it. Once you mentioned it, I Googled it. I said, okay, I got it. Okay, cool. That's one. I have another question. I wanted to open a first-time home buyer seminar. Just to kind of bring people together in the community. I'm labeling it with mastering your credit as well, because I know a lot of people struggle with credit. Do you think that's a good strategy to combine first-time home buyer with credit? And also, what tips? I know you made a video about it. I'm not sure if we recorded that, if I can find it again, or what tips do you have that can help me?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the home buyer and credit is hand in hand phenomenal, and absolutely necessary. It should draw you a bigger crowd than just talking about homes, since you are mixing credit in there. As far as resources, you'll want to go into the Power Unit File Vault. And I believe I'm checking right now. Marketing. No, I don't see the event stuff in here for the seminar. So I will, we can get it sent to you.
Okay.
So we'll send you the first time home buyer. I just have templates, and then I know that I have a lesson around it. And so we'll send you that as well.
Got it. Do I send you a message to remind you? Because I know you're pretty busy. Or do you need?
Yeah. Just shoot me an email.
Okay.
Just to get it in my email, and then we'll get it back to you.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yep.
And I'm starting my YouTube channel, man, this week. Nice. Get myself on YouTube. So I'm excited, man.
Awesome. And Josh, I see you there too, man.
What's up, Jason? How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. Just got done doing the 2 open houses this weekend again. So following up
Okay.
with those people right now.
Nice. Learned something today?
Oh yeah, yeah. Definitely about the listing presentations. Because
Good.
like you were saying, like I see these listing presentations in person, like through my team, but all they go over is the listing presentation, like bullet point through bullet point. And I feel like the report part, like you were saying, like is missing a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll take into account like what you're saying and use it into my listing presentations in the future. So
Awesome.
Mhm.
All right, man. Well, gentlemen, I enjoyed our time today, and I will see y'all next week. Let us know if we can help in any way.
Thank you, Jason. One more question actually.
Yep.
Do I have access to all the power unit stuff? Like the replays and stuff? Because I can never find them.
So the replays are sent in your email. When we send out the meeting reminder, there's a button in that email that says watch last week's.
Yeah, I've seen that one, but that's a week. Yeah, I can wait for those. Those are usually a week delayed though.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, anytime you need like a replay quicker, just shoot us a message and we can get it to you. I don't put all of the replays in the course curriculum because it confuses some people who aren't at the
Oh.
same level.
Mhm.
Certain ones when it's like lower level stuff in a sense of like new first year stuff.
Yeah.
But you know, some of these things that we talk about are a little bit more advanced. And so I don't want to put it into the curriculum. You know,
That makes sense.
yeah. But
Okay.
whenever you need a replay quicker, just reach out and we'll send
Okay,
you.
I'll do that. Thank you,
link.
Jason.
Okay.
Have a good morning. Bye.
All right. See y'all soon.
It's not morning for you guys.
Bye, y'all.
See ya.